Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to the YouTube channel on narcissism and our new debunking, or not debunking, I guess unbraiding the Am I the Assholes. Kind of a new obsession for me. So we've got a doozy today because I started reading, it's like, oh, we have to do this one. So here we go. So good. This is so good. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out of my house at night because she threw all of my food away? I mean, even I was taken by the headline on that one. I seriously can't believe this is a thing, but my parents are really upset at me. My sister and I grew up together but aren't very close. It really wasn't from any drama. We didn't have a big fight to cause distance, but rather just have opposite personalities and interests. If I had to describe my attitude toward my sister, it would be apathetic love. I love that, actually. Whoever you are, if you watch this, that's actually a really great term, apathetic love. Like, she's my sister, so I want her to be healthy and happy, but we just unfortunately don't hang out, call to chat, etc. Apathetic love, really good. I think it's a lot of families. She recently received an opportunity to interview for a job near our hometown and reached out to see if she could stay with me for a week. My mother was ecstatic that my sister might be coming home finally. She moved across the country right after college and hasn't been back in almost 10 years except for Christmas. She spends Thanksgiving with her in-laws or the one-off birthday business trip vacation. So, I mean, she hasn't been back in 10 years. Like, this daughter is not that into this family, okay? I was more than happy to open my home up, thinking that we could maybe bond or deepen our relationship. It was all kind of awkward, but nothing horrible until the third night. I came home from drinks with my friends around 10 p.m., went into my kitchen for a snack, and realized that almost all of my food was gone. What? That's a lot. I would be really mad if I saw all my food was gone. I am not even exaggerating. I swear 90% of my pantry was just gone. I asked my sister, and she told me that she was shocked I ate anything with preservatives and unnatural and that I was poisoning my body, so she took it upon herself to throw away everything she deemed unhealthy. Can anybody say self-righteous? That's like that's a huge violation to me. That just because you deem it unhealthy, you could say to someone, I think all the food in your pantry is unhealthy, but you don't throw it out. Guys, I am talking about so much food, both packaged and unpackaged. Even things like spices that weren't fresh were tossed. It was like someone had robbed my kitchen. I demanded that she pay to replace for everything, yes, but she dug her heels in and said she was doing me a favor. Blame shifting and gaslighting. I threw away everything in your kitchen and I was, no. And that the way I ate was disgusting, judgmental, self-righteous. I know I'm biased, but my diet isn't even crazy. It's pretty much standard food you'd find at any grocery store. But sweetheart, even if your diet was like really off and you had like 17 things of Oreos, it's your house, your food, your rules. I was so upset I made her pack up and leave. I get it. And she ended up having to take a cab about 30 minutes away to stay with my parents. My mom is absolutely devastated that we're fighting and insists that I apologize in order to keep the peace because she really hopes my sister will take the job and move back. So mom is again, this is such an interesting dynamic, right? The mother who doesn't want to see it straight, like what happened, because what the sister did was simply not okay. It's one thing if this woman had like a bunch of spoiled food, was like a hoarder, and the sister was like worried about the sister's safety. But even then, I know this from working with hoarding, like you're not supposed to just throw everything out. It really upsets someone. Like it's a process. So mom's an enabler. Mom just wants to keep that sort of false superficial sense of like, look, our family's all together. Meanwhile, I mean, this poor woman will never be able to have groceries in her house because this woman will throw them out, or she'll probably judge what everyone eats. I don't think this is going to work. I told my mom that if she wanted to lose not one but both daughters, then she'd probably not keep me pushing to apologize for something I feel like I have a right to be upset about. You have a right to be upset about anything. Even that idea of a right to be upset about leads me to think that this person's been gaslighted, because when we think we don't have the right to express our emotions, that often reflects that we've been gaslighted and we don't feel like we have the right to our emotions. My dad says that she's been crying every night though, so dad's a bit manipulative. And I love my mom so much. I feel like a huge a-hole for being stubborn about the situation. Do you see what this person's doing? She's lost all the food in her house. She was angry. She asked her sister to leave, which is a perfectly fine boundary to set. Her mom, who she does clearly love, but is being quite manipulative, trying to sort of enable this really sort of intrusive other daughter. Dad's being manipulative, telling her that she's crying, and she's saying, "I'm being stubborn." You see that's self-pathologizing. I'm the one that's stubborn. I'm the one with the problem. Somebody came into your house and threw away all your food. That's a problem. And then she goes on with an edit, and she said, people were wondering, did you invite your sister out for drinks? She said, yes, I did, but the sister declined. And she threw away very expensive amounts of food. And so, such an interesting one, because I think what jumped out at me is it's so easy to say, well, that's farcical, ha ha ha. And when I read it, I did chuckle at first, but then I thought, wow, this is what this person's doing to herself. Am I a jerk for being mad that somebody shamed me, told me my food was disgusting, by extension, really sort of making a statement on this other person, and taking it upon themselves, intrusive, poor boundaries, to throw away all their food? And the family, so obsessed with keeping the peace, is asking this person who had all their food thrown out to pretty much tamp down their own emotions so that they can keep this pseudo peace. But this sister is allowed to come in. This sister, who's clearly not that interested in the family because hasn't really come home that much in 10 years. But again, what happens in these kinds of toxic generating family systems is there's sort of this desire to keep up a false front. And now the sister, who had all her food thrown out, is going to blame herself for not being able to deliver on what the mom wants, and is self-pathologizing by calling herself stubborn. As I've said over and over again on all of these Am I the Asshole threads, the one thing that jumps out at me is that there's so much self-gaslighting going on, right? A person finally actually putting a line in the sand, getting pushed to a point. Imagine you go out for a night, maybe you're just having some drinks, you want to come home, I don't know, have some crackers or something, and you open your cabinet, 90% of your food was gone. I actually tried to picture that. I would be really mad. And that it's being done from this really, really judgmental space, and that her sister is showing, the sister who threw out the food is saying, I don't even need to communicate with you. I can just do what I want. Can you imagine having this sister living near you? What's next? She's going to say your clothes aren't fashionable enough, so I'm going to go in your closet and throw away all your clothes. That's the problem. And it is I want to go back to this, I want to see that I think the sister actually, sister's literally rationalizing throwing out the food because it's disgusting. So again, there's that blame shifting again, right? Doesn't even stop to say, wow, I guess it would have been intrusive to just throw away someone's food. I actually think it's intrusive to tell someone their food is disgusting. I have a real problem with people making comments on what other people are eating. It's judgy, it's shaming, and it's self-righteous. It's not okay. I don't care if somebody is eating like a sandwich made of Oreos, peanut butter, and bacon. If that's what they want to eat, then that's what they want to eat. You don't have to eat it. So, but very much the patterns we see sort of in a self-righteous narcissistic pattern. And I'd say not only is this woman not the asshole, like she's in a very problematic family system where manipulation seems to be sort of the language that works, and so is sort of keeping these sorts of superficial sort of appearances for the world. The mother could have easily stepped in and said, what she did wasn't okay. I really hope she moves back. The mom can still have that hope. I understand it. I'm a parent. I get that. But that nobody in this family seems to be acknowledging that this sister throwing away all of her sister's food is a problem, and that she had to really her sister did something extreme, threw away all her food. So one would say, well, making someone take a taxi at the night, I don't know. That doesn't even seem as egregious. And then she can go stay with her mother who loves her so much. Also, that risk in families where everything is so like, can't we look like a happy family to the world? Sometimes you just have sort of genetic bad luck and you're tossed together with people who just aren't a good match for you. That idea of like, we've got to make it work because we're a family is actually a really dangerous precedent that a lot of toxic families get sort of looped into, and that somehow the parents feel entitled to their children all getting along. That's luck of the draw, folks. And again, she's clearly not only not the asshole, it's a really good illustration on how somebody could roll in after 10 years, prodigal daughter, as it were, kind of make this mess, and then get really self-righteous about actually being called out on her behavior. Kind of hope she doesn't get the job just to protect this poor person so she can get her cabinet stocked up again before this person comes and throws it all out. Them's my thoughts. Thanks again.